Pastel Pastries. Today we're going to learn how to make a chocolate covered strawberry Father's Day box. So the tools and supplies you're going to need today is fresh strawberries. By the way, I do buy these from Sam's Club or Costco. You're going to need a sheet pan lined with some parchment paper, any kind of styrofoam board you have at home, some cupcake liners, toothpicks, some white sanding sugar from Wilton, and this one right here was white as well. The only thing I did add to it was luster dust, and just give it a shake and it'll all turn gold. You're going to need some piping bags, and the only thing I did add to this was some candy melts inside so that it's a little bit easier to manage with this mold that we are going to be using for the letters Dad. So the only reason why I do this is I just place this right into the microwave for like 30 seconds. Make sure you massage it, make sure everything is nice and melted down. So once that's melted down, you just cut the tip and it's super easy. You don't have to worry about it like, you know, probably putting in the chocolate, but it's just up to me. I like this, it's easier for me. I've already melted down my Ghirardelli white chocolate melting wafers and the dark chocolate melting wafers as well, so that is all done. The only thing I did to this was just place it into the microwave for 30-second intervals, and I will leave a link in the description to the video that I do have showing you guys how I melt my chocolate step by step, or you could just click in the corner. I will add a little thumbnail on there. You're going to need any kind of decorative box. And now onto toppings. For our toppings, we are going to use these pretzels, some semi-sweet chocolate chips. All I did was just chop these up on the cutting board. And lastly, this Heath bar. All I did to this one as well is just chop it down and make sure you just reserve some bigger pieces. Also, please make sure to check the description down below for all the tools and stuff that I do recommend for you guys to check out. So these are all the tools and ingredients we're going to be using for today's Father's Day chocolate covered strawberry box. So the inspiration behind this Father's Day box is my dad. My dad adores chocolate just like me, of course. But this just represents him in a way of all his favorite candies. And you can always substitute different chocolates or different candies into your own boxes and just make them your own. Or if you're just making them to sell, you know, anything that like suits your style and anything for you to do that's pretty easy or a little bit more intricate and detailed. All up to you guys. Putting your own little twist of creativity in there, and I'm sure everyone's gonna love it. Okay, so let's hop right into the video. I'm gonna bring you guys in closer so you can see everything that I'm doing. Once again, thank you so much for watching my channel, and please subscribe if you aren't already. And if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, I am going to incorporate more of these chocolate covered strawberry delights right into my videos, and I really hope you guys do enjoy them. So first, let's start off with our semi-sweet chocolate chip strawberry. So go ahead and pick out your strawberry. Again, just make sure it is nice and dry. You don't want it to be like wet at all. Perfect. And you guys already know the drill. You guys know where to place it. But those who are new, you're going to place it right beside the strawberry. And always go ahead and hold up all of the leaves so that it's more easier to dip into the chocolate and you don't have to deal with, you know, the leaves like falling down or anything. So just easier. Perfect. Okay, so let's start off with our dark chocolate. So go ahead and make sure all the leaves are held up. We're going to dip right into the chocolate. I like to go all the way towards the top, just like that. Go ahead and just wiggle your strawberry. Make sure you take off all of that excess chocolate off. And I know that in my last video for the Mother's Day chocolate covered strawberry box, I did go ahead and place my strawberries right here on the styrofoam board as well as the parchment paper. But for this one right here, I'm going to actually use the parchment paper so that it's easier to add in our toppings. So we have it nice and dipped. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and just sprinkle this over the top of the berry. Just like that. Sorry if you guys can't see, it's kind of the angle. But just try to go all the way to the top, the corners. I kind of tried to avoid the back. Okay, perfect. So just like that. I know there's like chocolate dripping, but that's fine. Just go ahead and place that right onto your parchment paper. And now it's all coated. Perfect. So I'm gonna do this to 2 more strawberries and I'll be right back. So now moving on to our Heath chocolate bar, we're going to do the same and we're going to dip into our dark chocolate. So exactly the same process. Go ahead and dip into your chocolate. Perfect. Now we're going to go ahead and add in some of our Heath chunks on there. And some of the bigger pieces, just go ahead and like kind of push them down a little bit more so that they're nice and secured on there. And it's okay if some of them are like dripping down. It's just, it's either I didn't take off as much chocolate as I thought I did. Okay, perfect. So I'm just gonna place this down on that tray. So I'm gonna finish 2 more of these and I'll be right back to show you guys what I'm gonna do with the white chocolate. So now onto our white chocolate covered strawberries. We're going to grab a strawberry, always make sure it's dry. We're going to insert our toothpick. And simply all we're going to do is just dip into your white chocolate. Make sure it's the correct consistency. Try to get it all the way to the top. And we're just going to place this right on the styrofoam board. And as always, make sure you pop any air bubbles you see. Just poke it and kind of just swirl it. Okay, looks like this one doesn't really have any. Okay, cool. So we're just going to place it right onto the styrofoam board. Just like this. I'm going to do 2 more and I'll be right back to show you guys all of the toppings we have. Okay, so now our semi-sweet, our Heath chocolate, and our white chocolate are all done. So now we're going to work on our dad. So remember how I told you guys I placed these candy melts into this piping bag? All we're gonna do is place it into the microwave for 30 seconds and I'll be right back to show you what that looks like without me like touching the bag or anything. This is after the first 30 seconds, so I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze the bag. And as you guys can see, you know, they're melting. I still feel that there are some that are not melted because you can't press them down yet. But for the majority, it is melted. So I'm just gonna place this in there for 20 seconds actually. Okay, so this is after 20 more seconds and completely everything is nice and done. So this is all ready for piping. Just gonna grab my scissors. We're just gonna wanna cut a small hole. Not too big because you do want to try to fit it like right into the mold, you know. So just gonna cut that off. And make sure you also don't cut it too big because we're going to be drizzling with this same little cut we made here as well. So just go ahead and, you know, pick whichever one you need. So let me find the D. So just bring it down as far as you can and let that chocolate out. And same, just go on to the next one and the next one. You could even do like the whole alphabet and just have this like stored in your refrigerator. I like to store mine into the refrigerator 2 days prior to like in order. But for me, like no longer than that, just so that it's still fresh. So all I'm putting in here is just the letters Dad. just like that. And you're going to tap it down. Make sure everything's nice and even. And if you do see that some of your edges are coming out like a little messy or something, or let me just like overfill one. So let me just tap that off one more time. So if you see that you did go like a little bit overboard like this, no problem. Let me see if that's in focus. Sorry guys, that wasn't in focus, but you know, I did put a little bit more here. So if you do end up going a little bit overboard, just tap that off. And just grab anything with like a straight edge or a spatula and just like run it right across. And that'll be like perfect right there. So I'm just gonna let this sit in the freezer for about 3 minutes and I'll be right back to just pop them out. Now let's hop right into our pretzels. So now right into our pretzels, you're going to wanna choose the ones that are nice and pretty, you know, not the ones that are like chopped up or anything like that. I mean, you can, but it's still edible, obviously, but I just like them like this. So I'm just gonna dip them just like this, like half, you know, take off all of the excess. I hope that's in focus. Perfect. And all I like doing is just grabbing a toothpick and just like poking through this so that you can see like that little hole. And we're just gonna place this onto our parchment paper. I'm gonna do 2 more off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that everything is all nice and done, I'm going to bring out the molds in a little bit. Okay, so our molds have been sitting in the fridge for about 3 minutes. So simply just be super careful, but just kind of like extend it a little bit. Just like side to side, and you're just gonna pop them out. Super easy. I know sometimes they do like potentially break, but that's because I'm like being like a little bit too harsh with it and trying to take it out too hard. But yeah, just like this. Be careful with like some of the letters. Some of them are a little bit harder than others. Like the letter E like often breaks a lot for me. And the A sometimes as well. But just like that, we have our dad. So we're done with our mold. So let's jump right into this white one right here. So I'm just gonna grab my sanding sugar and a little dish like this. And still make sure your chocolate is nice and good consistency. And if it's not, just pop it into the microwave, that's no problem. So I'm just going to drizzle my berry. And I'm going to add some sanding sugar. Okay, so now onto the Heath berry. We're going to grab these little chunks that we did cut up earlier. And I'm just going to add a little bit of chocolate right in the center. Just a little mound. And just go ahead and grab that little chocolate Heath bar. And just add that into the center. Now lastly, all we have is our pretzels and our letters. So all I'm going to do to this pretzel is just add it on right here in the center. And it's optional, you can add more drizzle or just leave it simple like this. In this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it simple. Same as the chocolate Heath one, I'm just gonna pipe a circle in the middle. And just go ahead and position that on there. Just hold it for a few seconds. So now all of our pretzels are all done. And lastly, to this semi-sweet chocolate one, I'm going to put the words Dad right on each one in the center as well. So I like facing this one towards me and seeing exactly in the middle where I want to place it. So just go ahead and add some chocolate on the back. Just like that. I'm gonna place this in and I'll be right back to show you guys the finished product. Okay everyone, so this is the finished product, and as you guys can see, it's really crisp and clean. I love how it says Dad right straight down the middle, and you know, we have our 3 different choices that he can pick from. We have our Heath chocolate bar, semi-sweet, and our white chocolate with the pretzel. It's sure to be a crowd pleaser, let alone your dad is going to love this gift. So now I'm going to show you guys how it looks like with the tap on. Thank you all so much for watching my video. If you did enjoy it, please leave me a like down below and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and turn on that post notification bell to notify you when I upload. Also, if you guys have any suggestions of what kind of box I should create, leave it down below and let me know what theme you guys like to see. Bye guys, have a lovely day.